everyone, and welcome back to the Football Chuggu Podcast. My name is Thomas Durning, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Pearse McLaughlin. Hello, Pearse.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. On today's podcast, we'll be discussing last weekend's English and Scottish Premier League results. We'll be reacting to the Euro 2024 draw, which was at the weekend. And at the end of the podcast, Pearse will be giving a rundown of all the latest Asian football news. So we'll start off with reacting to the English Premier League results. So I'll just quickly go through them. So on Saturday, the 2nd of December, it was Brentford 3, Luton Town 1, Burnley 5, Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 1, Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0. And then on Sunday, the 3rd of December, AFC Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Liverpool 4, Fulham 3, West Ham United 1, Crystal Palace 1, and Manchester City 3, Tottenham 3. So just before we go into reacting to all the results, there's just been a little bit of breaking news from the Premier League around about an hour ago. It was confirmed that Sheffield United have sacked Paul Heckingbottom after their 5-0 defeat to Burnley at the weekend, and they've replaced him with former Sheffield United manager Chris Wilder, who returns to the club. So just starting off with that, Pearse, what's your reaction to this Sheffield United manager change?
I'm not surprised that they've sacked the manager because they have only picked up 5 points in the Premier League, and they haven't had the greatest of starts this season. They've had a few hidings as well. But in terms of reappointing Chris Wilder, I think that's a pretty surprising appointment, to be honest, because although he did brilliantly the first time, obviously a couple of years ago now, and then the second season syndrome where they dropped off massively and they get relegated. And then in terms of Chris Wilder himself, he then went to Middlesbrough in the Championship and really struggled. They were in the relegation fight. He was then sacked. And at the start of the season, he was linked with a variety of Scottish Premiership clubs, Aberdeen, Dundee United, to name a few. So to then be reappointed and manage an English Premier League again, I think it was a pretty shocking appointment, to be honest. But I think they're kind of going with someone that's tried and trusted and obviously knows the club inside out. So maybe it'll have a positive effect. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised, as you said, about Paul Heckingbottom getting sacked. They've not had a great start to the season at all when they got beat 5-0 at the weekend against Burnley, who also got promoted and who were also in the relegation zone at the time and bottom of the table. So it wasn't surprising that Heckingbottom got the sack, but I do feel for him a bit because Sheffield United have sold in the summer quite a couple of good key players. Ndai, who went to Marseille, and Sander Berg, who went to Burnley. So they were 2 big players for Sheffield United last season, and they didn't really replace them with better players. So I do feel for Paul Heckingbottom a bit because I don't think he really got backed. But in terms of Chris Wilder returning, I understand it in terms of the fact that he knows the club. He'll know a lot of the players as well, because I don't think their squad's really changed that much since Chris Wilder was there. And obviously he's a hometown kind of guy. He's Sheffield United's his club. He's always been a fan of them, and he did a really good job with them in the first time in charge of Sheffield United. And they had, I think, the first season they came back up with Chris Wilder. I think they had a really good season. So they'll be more hoping for more of the same. So yeah, we'll just need to wait and see now with Sheffield United how they're going to react to this manager change. So Pearse, is there matches from the Premier League last weekend that stand out to you?
I think there's 2. I think there's probably the 2 biggest games, to be honest. So I think we'll start with the Man City 3, Spurs 3. I think Man City at times were scintillating and could have been a number of goals in front. But it was Spurs that took the lead early on through Son, who was then not the ball in his own net. But I think Spurs went toe-to-toe with Man City, and it was a thoroughly entertaining game. And it's something you expect fans Postecoglou, because a lot of the pundits down south were saying, "Oh, can you really go toe to toe with Man City? We're not sitting and try hitting them in the break," and that's just not his style. And that's regardless of which country he's been in, Australia, Japan, Scotland, England, he'll play the exact same way. And even though he's got a number of key injuries, in attack and defence, he still wants to play that system, and it works for him. And they caused Man City a number of problems, and they're a lot more clinical than Man City, because Man City were a bit wasteful at times. Um, Particularly Erling Haaland, who had a couple of guilty chances that you should back that had to put away, but fantastic result. And Tottenham have done brilliantly, because the fact is they then went on a wee downward spiral where they got a couple of defeats, and after obviously near perfect start to the season. But no, that was a fantastic game, and Man City just look a bit more fragile than they did last season, and I don't see Man City retaining the treble. I just think they look a lot weaker. And key departures for me were Mahrez and Gundogan, and obviously the absence of De Bruyne. So I think they look a bit weaker all over the park. And the other one for me has got to be the Fulham Liverpool game. Both three at Anfield, and Fulham probably thought getting 3 goals away from home at Anfield, you're going to get something for the game, but just the calibre of goals. First Felix and McAllister, world. Endo again, first goal for Liverpool, worldy. And then Alexander-Arnold, own goal, free kick, but it was still some technique. And then he pops up with the winner at the end. Anfield is just one of those places, like, regardless, like, the crowd just gets you going. And I think that Endo goal changed it, because literally I think it was like less than 45 seconds. And then Arnold pops up with the second. They're just full throttle, and it's a brilliant game to watch. And yeah, that's probably one of the games that would come in the season. That's like a title winning game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking for the results. There's quite a lot of really good matches from the weekend. My standout is the Man City Tottenham game. I thought that was a cracking game. Me and you really, me and you know well, and Postecoglou. So the football that they're playing is no surprise to us at all, and it just makes it so exciting. And he's very deserving getting the credit, and Postecoglou deserves it, because he makes football, a really good a really good thing to watch. So that was my standout game from the weekend. But as you said, the Liverpool Fulham game, that was the goals from Liverpool were just, everyone was just amazing. I mean, for Fulham to go to Anfield and score 3 goals and yet come out of the match with a defeat, and it wasn't as if it was like poor defending that they conceded goals from. It was just all amazing goals. So I really feel for them in that respect. So that was a really, really good game. Liverpool are going really well at the moment. They're right up there at the top of the table. So kind of underdogs at the moment. And just lastly, the Newcastle Man United match, which finished 1-0 in Newcastle. Man United were, really, really poor on the day. Newcastle, although they only won 1-0, it didn't, people might have thought that it was a tight game, but it really wasn't. Newcastle were by far better than Man United on the day. And there's a lot of issues at Man United at the moment. And Eric Ten Hag's under pressure, and the players are getting a lot of stick, and rightly so, because it doesn't seem to be a really united team at the moment. So, so really good matches from the weekend. But my standout is the Man City Tottenham match, which finished 3-3. So, we'll move on to the Scottish Premier League results from the weekend. On Saturday, the 2nd of December, we had only 2 matches because one was called off. So the matches were Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 1, Motherwell 3, Dundee 3. And then on Sunday, the 3rd of December, the matches were St.Johnstone 1, Celtic 3, Hibernian 2, Aberdeen 0, and Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. So, Pearse, which match there stands out to you?
Well, I'm going to say St Johnstone 1, Celtic 3. I feel as if the game itself, the first half is a bit poor from Celtic. They're a bit slow and lethargic, similar to they've been the last couple of weeks. And obviously St Johnstone took an early lead through like a poor defending and goalkeeping at from a set play, and they took full advantage. And I feel as if maybe they scored a bit too early because it then just resulted them into just kind of sitting back and inviting pressure, and eventually Celtic broke them down. And again, similar to the Liverpool-Fulham game, they were just two worldies for the first two goals in terms of Cam McGregor's equaliser and then Matt O'Reilly, who again just is going from strength to strength. And then obviously tremendous save at the end by Joe Hart, and then Celtic got the up straight up the other end to score on the counter attack, just like the ultimate sucker punch, and 3-1 sounds like a comfortable victory. But it was far from. It was actually pretty. Although Celtic had a lot of possession, St Johnstone had their chances, and it was an enthralling game, to be honest. And going to special shout out to Hibernian, who picked up another brilliant victory over Aberdeen, who obviously drew Rangers recently as well. So I think the first goal, especially the David Marshall kick out to spring Martin Bowen behind and then squaring it to Dylan Venti, that was really really good initiative from the goalkeeper. And like you say, I think we say it most weeks that Nick Montgomery's got Hibs playing a really good, exciting brand of football, and they're just slowly but surely picking up points here and there, and they're a really good, exciting side in this spell.
Yeah, I was going to say Celtic as well for my game over the weekend. It was just a totally polar opposite halves from Celtic. In the first half they were really, really, really bad. Probably it was really disappointing, and St Johnstone were 1-0 up, and the goal that Celtic conceded was very poor. So the second half was much better, and they scored a couple of good goals. Matt Riley's especially was a really, really good finish. And Brendan Rodgers said after the game that at half time that was the angriest he's ever been as a manager, which kind of just says all about how poor Celtic were on the day. And it's although Celtic are at the top of the table, they're really not convincing at the moment. They've not really been great at all. They've had no real consistency. They do have a lot of injuries, but there's a few concerns there for Brendan Rodgers there at the moment. And I just want to quickly shout out the Motherwell Dundee match, which finished 3-3. I think Motherwell have been involved in quite a good few matches. I think it was against Dundee that was another 3-3 match as well. Motherwell at the weekend scored in the last minute to get a draw. So that was a really good match as well. And yeah, just Celtic, St Johnstone was my standout match from the weekend. So we'll move on now to the big news that on Saturday, the 3rd of December, we had the Euro 2024 group stage draw. So there was quite interesting groups there, to say the least. As we're Scottish, we'll talk about the Scotland group. It was really exciting to watch them getting drawn out to put in a group. So the group that they're in is Group A, and in that group is Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. And that means that Germany versus Scotland will be the first match of the tournament. So Scotland will be kicking off that tournament against Germany. So Pearse, what do you think?
Absolute buzzing for it. I think that
Same.
it's a definite group that we can progress from. We touched on it a few weeks ago during the latest international break, that Germany are just abysmal at the back, and they don't look potent in the attacking third because they don't have a world class number 9. They've got obviously nice number 10s and a couple of decent winners, but they just flatter to deceive. And obviously playing Kai Havertz at left back. So I think if they do that, then power to them. I think Scotland will cause them all sorts of problems on the opening day, which is going to be an exciting time for Scotland fans to be the opening match of a Euros, where you get the big ceremony, all the players, and then you'll just see Scotland rock up and absolutely destroy Germany, which would be brilliant.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
And in terms of Switzerland and Hungary, I think they're pretty similar size. They're a decent caliber. Usually do well in like, European competitions. But I think they're beatable because you look at the teams that Scotland have beaten the qualifying campaign. You wouldn't. We beat Spain and we beat Norway. So I think Spain's obviously a better calibre of team than they two, but like Norway, you would say is on par with those two sides, and we got 4 points from Norway, a win in Oslo and a draw at Hampden when the group was already done. So I think as Scotland fans, I think we can easily progress into the latter stages of a knockout of a major tournament, and I think it's exciting because I think it's a group we can easily progress from. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was quite happy with the group that Scotland were drawn into. That Germany versus Scotland match, the first match of the tournament, which is going to be on the 14th of June at the Allianz Arena. I mean, that's going to be, I'm so excited for that because, first game of the tournament, most eyes will be on that specific match because it's the kickoff for the first match. So lots of eyes will be on Scotland, and we have a great opportunity here to kind of show off the progress that we've made under Steve Clarke the last 4 or 5 years. And you have to say that Scotland have got a chance. It's going to be hard because Germany are going to have all their fans. They're at home. So it's going to be difficult on that front. But Germany haven't been great for the last year or so. They've had really poor results. They've not played a lot. They haven't played any competitive matches since the World Cup because they are automatically qualified for the Euros. So Scotland will be kind of fancying it a wee bit. It'd be stuff of dreams if Scotland were to kick off that group with 3 points. I mean, it really would. I think me and you, I don't know if we'll be available for the podcast next week. I think we'll be hungover or anything. We don't know. But
I'll be
I'm really
on
excited.
of it.
Yeah. I think I'll be something stronger than that for me. And then the other teams, Hungary and Switzerland, again, a very kind of good teams for Scotland to play against. We can't underestimate these two teams because they are really good. Switzerland are quite an established, and they always make the finals of the tournaments, either if it's the Euros or the World Cup. So they've got a lot of experience. And Hungary as well, who have been really good the last few years. They're 27th in the world in the ranking. So I mean that's really, really good. And we all know Hungary, the main man, Szoboszlai,
Yep.
who's an amazing player. So I think Scotland can do it. Get out of that group for the first time ever. That'll be amazing. We just have to wait and see. But it's still a while away. But I can't wait for it, and we'll talk about it before the first game for Scotland against Germany, and that's going to be really exciting. So yeah, can't wait for it. I'll just quickly run through the rest of the teams, the rest of the groups. So Group B, we had Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. Group C, we had Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Group D, the winners of playoff A will be in the group with Netherlands, Austria, and France. Group E is Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and whoever wins the playoff in the B section will be in that Group E. And lastly, Group F, Turkey, the winners of playoff C, Portugal, and Czech Republic. So, what do you think, Pearse? You got is there a group there that looks really interesting?
Group D.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Is that D for death?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I feel sorry for whoever wins playoff one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I agree.
Holland, Austria, and France. Like France are probably one of the favourites, along with Portugal, to win the whole tournament. Then you've got Netherlands who've got the quality over the park, and then Austria similar. So yeah, I think they'll just be playoff one of them will just be hoping to get a point at least.
Yeah, I mean it's a really tough one, that. And Austria are a good team as well,
Yeah, Sabitzer, Gregorovic. Arnautovic, also David Alaba. Yeah, good side.
Yeah, they've got a really good they've got a really good team. That group's going to be really exciting. I really do feel sorry for the team that progresses through the playoffs. But you never know. You never know at the end of the day. I think there's an group D here. So you've got Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. That's a really interesting group. Spain, Scotland know them well. Croatia, they always reach the last stages of tournaments. And Italy, who won the Euros the last time. So Albania are going to have it. They're going to find it very tough. But there's all the groups there are really interesting. You know, it's going to be really exciting. Because the Euros is always something that you want to watch. And I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the time, the 14th of June, and I can't wait to watch Scotland kick off the Euros. It's going to be so exciting. Yeah, I can't wait. So for the final part of the show, Pearse will now give his Asian football roundup.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lengthy one today, because it was a conclusion of both the K-League 1 and the J-League 1. So we had on Saturday, the 2nd of December, the K-League 1, we had Daejeon Hana Citizen 2, FC Seoul 2, Suwon Suns and Blue Wings 0, Gangwon FC 0, Suwon FC 1, Jeju United 1, and then Sunday, the 3rd of December, we had Ulsan Hyundai 1, Jumbo Hyundai Motors 0, Daegu FC 2, Incheon United 1, Gwangju FC 0, Pohang Steelers 0. So we had the top 3 teams confirmed. So top table with Ulsan Hyundai, who obviously champions, with 76 points. Second place with Pohang Steelers, who secured that position with 64 points. And then the final position for the Asian Champions League was Gwangju FC, who have qualified for the 24-25 AFC Champions League Elite. And a phenomenal achievement for a side that was just promoted from the K-League 2. Phenomenal achievement for them. And at the bottom of the table, it's been confirmed Suwon Samsung Blue Wings have been relegated to the K-League 2 for the very first time in the club's history. And Suwon FC and Gangwon FC will both go into the relegation playoff to try to fight for survival in the K-League 1. So in terms of the J-League 1, obviously all the matches were played on Sunday, the 3rd of December. So it's Hokkaido Consadole Sapporo 0, Ura Diamonds 0, Ura Diamonds 2, Gambo Osaka 0, Vissel Kobe 1, Kashima Antlers 2, Yokohama FC 1, Kyoto Sanga 3, Yokohama F Mariners 1, Sagan Tucson 0, Kawasaki Frontale 1, Alberts Nagata 1, Cerezo Osaka 0, Avispa Fukuoka 0, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 1, Nago Grampus 1, Casio Reysol 1. Yeah, so it's leaving the table looking like this. Vissel Kobe champions, 71 points. Second position with Yokohama F Mariners, last season's winners, but faltered towards the end of the season. So they secured second, and the final Asian Champions League place goes to an outsider, which was unexpected in Sanfrecce Hiroshima. The favourites were obviously Nagoya Grampus and Ura Diamonds, but they dropped off towards the end of the season, and phenomenal achievement for them to get into the Asian Champions League Elite. So down at the bottom of the table, we had Yokohama FC, rock bottom on 29 points, and they've been relegated. And then 17th and 16th, we have Kashi Reysol on 33 points and Gambo Osaka on 34, and they'll both go into the relegation playoff. So in terms of other Asian football news, Toro Oniki has reached an agreement to end his contract with Kawasaki Frontale for the 2024 season. The 49-year-old is part of the Frontale staff since 2007, progressively ascending to the role of manager in 2017. Under his guidance, the team has secured the Meiji Yasuda J-League 1 title 4 times. So Japanese football icon, you've probably heard of him, Tom, Shinji Ono has officially retired at the grand old age of 44. So a 25-year career which spanned 602 games, 91 goals, a Europa League winner with finalled in 2002, J-League 1 Ura Diamonds in 2006, the A-League with Western Sydney Wanderers in 2013, the AFC Asian Cup with Japan in 2000, the AFC Champions League with Ura Dimes in 2007, and he was voted as the AFC Player of the Year in 2002. So sayonara, Tensai. So according to Japanese media, newly promoted Machida Zelvia are set to sign FC Seoul's Na Sang-ho. Na finished the season as FC Seoul's top goal scorer with 12 goals and 38 K-League 1 appearances for a side that flattered to deceive and had a pretty disappointing campaign, finishing in the bottom half of the table. So we had the J-League 1 awards and the K-League 1 awards. So we'll start with the J-League 1. So top goal scorers were voted, top goal scorer Yuya Asaka of Vissel Kobe and Anderson Lopez of Yokohama F. Marinos, who both finished the season on 22 goals. So Yuya Asako and Anderson Lopez waged an amazing battle for top goal scorer this year, and they ended up sharing the honours after they both finished on 22 goals in 34 J-League 1 matches. So the man of the year goes to Shigetoshi Hasebe, who led Avispa Fukuoka to their very first major trophy, winning the 2023 J-League YBC Levin Cup, and also steered the club to the best ever league finish by coming in 7th. So the manager of the J-League 1 Champions Award was Takayuki Yoshida, who receives his award having guided Vissel Kobe to their very first ever major Yasudo J-League 1 title. So the best young player was voted as Shunsuke Mito. He had a terrific campaign in the Albrechts Nagata midfield and has earned the 21-year-old star this season's Best Young Player award. So in terms of the MVP, the 2022 MVP was obviously Tomoki Iwata, who's now at Celtic, and that award has now been going to Yuya Osaka, who finished top goal scorer and was pivotal in winning the Vissel Kobe their very first ever title. So he was voted the top goal scorer, selected in Team of the Year, and is pivotal in bringing the J-League 1 to Vissel Kobe. So in terms of the K-League 1 awards, we had Man of the Year, which is Myung-Bo of Ulsan Hyundai. After winning the K-League 1 championship for a second year in a row, Ulsan Hyundai manager Myung-Bo has the honour of being named Manager of the Year. Under Hong's stewardship, Ulsan won 23 of their 38 league matches, drawing 7 and losing just 8. The Horage won the league title with 3 games to spare, even earlier than they did last season. So the MVP was Kim Young-Gwon of Ulsan Hyundai. The 2023 K-League 1 MVP is Ulsan Hyundai centre-back Kim Young-Gwon. Kim made 32 appearances for Ulsan this season, helping them to a second league title in as many seasons. And he sits third in the division for passes made with 2,268 passes made, the most among the Ulsan players. So the Young Player of the Year has gone to Jong Ho-Yeon of Gwangju FC. The Gwangju FC midfielder Jung Hyo-won is the 2023 K-League 1 Young Player of the Year. Jong came through the ranks at Gwangju and helped them win the K-League 2 title last year, as well as a third place finish in the K-League 1 this season, securing an Asian Champions League place in the process. This season he's featured in 34 league matches, scored 2 goals and assisted 4. An interesting stat is whenever Jong has scored or assisted in a match, Gwangju were able to avoid defeat, winning 5 matches and drawing just the once. So in terms of the best 11 for the K-League 1, so the goalkeeper we've got Jo Hyung-woo of Ulsan Hyundai, defenders Wanderson of Pohang Steelers, Alex Grant of Pohang Steelers, Kim Young-Gwon of Ulsan Hyundai, and So Young-woo of Ulsan Hyundai. So midfielder we've got Gerso Fernandez of Incheon United, Oberdan of Pohang Steelers, Lee Soon-min of Gwangju FC, and Won Sang of Ulsan Hyundai. And we've got 2 forwards of Jo Min-Kyu of Ulsan Hyundai and Zeka of Pohang Steelers. And last but not least, we have obviously top goal scorers, which was Jo Min-Kyu, Ulsan Hyundai. Top goal scorer having scored 17 goals from 36 appearances this season, and because he had played fewer minutes than Daejeon's Thiago Oboro, 2,621 minutes compared to Oboro's 2,833 minutes, who also scored 17 goals. So he is now officially the top goal scorer of the K-League 1. So the top assister was Baek Sung-dong of Pohang Steelers. The winger has won the top assist maker with 8 assists in 26 matches. He also scored 4 goals to make a total of 12 combined goals and assists in just 26 matches. His 8th and final assist came in round 27 this August, but injury prevented him from adding any more to his tally. So in terms of J-League 1 best 11, so we have Shusaku Nishikawa of Urawa Diamonds. We've got 3 defenders of Alexander Schultz of Urawa Diamonds, Marius Holtbrighton of Urawa Diamonds, and Seiya Makuma of Cerezo Osaka. 4-man midfield of Atsuki Ito, Urawa Diamonds, Gotoku Sakai of Vissel Kobe, Hotaro Yamaguchi of Vissel Kobe, and Yasuto Wakizaka of Kawasaki Frontale, and a pretty powerful front line of Anderson Lopez of Yokohama Marinos, Yu Osaka of Vissel Kobe, and Yoshinoro Muto of Vissel Kobe. And that is all your latest Asian football news.
Thank you, Pearse. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Football Chuggu Podcast. This podcast will be available to listen to on the Football Chuggu YouTube channel and also the Football Chuggu website. Thanks for listening and see you soon.
Bye-bye.